Hello everyone, I'll be doing a watch me edit because I don't know how to control my sanity anymore. Just kidding, I do. Anyway, I'll be doing a commentary due to shorting out the video because the original file of it is like 8 gigabytes and I want to short it out. So I have a list of questions that I have received a lot from either your comments, Discord servers, and etc. etc. So let's start this, shall we? So, coming around from you guys, why do I pick After Effects? Number one, After Effects is an editing community's top choice. And editing in After Effects is not complicated as you think. Well, at first, yeah, you could think of it as a hard software, but in the end, you could actually manage doing an edit in After Effects or making anything in After Effects, yeah. So, After Effects basically is a general top choice in the editing community that I'm in, which is basically not all editors are After Effects users because there's some are like phone users like Funimate, I Like Motion, KitKat Pro, etc. etc. But I find it easier in After Effects because you could make your own effects, you could download effects online. You could do whatever you want basically in After Effects. It's like a light motion and videos are combined but complicated yet easier to manage in the end. So yeah, this is why I use After Effects 24/7. The next thing I get around seeing a couple of comments from you guys is what plugins do you use? What effects do you use? Is it like the same thing with Alight Motion? Is it the same thing with VideoStar? Is it the same thing with Funimate, etc., etc.? Well, basically, After Effects lets you do whatever you want, no limitations at all. But the thing is, my effects or plugins that I use is from the internet. Yes, you heard me right. You need to download them. Either you need to pay them for between $5 to $10 for just an effect, or either just download some plugins that are worth it for like $0. So the plugins that I use all the time is Twixtor, BCC, Fridgesluts, sometimes like Sapphire plugins, but I don't use Sapphire anymore because number one, After Effects is like, just trying to make my life harder because After Effects just like give me like a total dump because it just gave me like a red screen, which means it's either it's corrupted or it's either it's dead. It's either you need to restart your After Effects, which is why. So like every other plugins that I own has some slow pace of loading it up, like 10 seconds done, like 30 seconds, okay, it's done, but nah, it's kind of like a slow pace, but it will add it soon. So just wait and just do something while you're waiting. But what if you don't have any plugins you could consider yourself downloading, but it has like money? I recommend searching up YouTube, Instagram, any social media platforms of overlays. What are overlays? It's basically a picture or a video that has an effect in it, but you could just import it into After Effects and just change out the blending style there. I forgot what it is. You could import the videos or anything that counts as an effect, like a picture, videos, anything in general, but I prefer videos because it lacks the detail. So if you're doing that, make sure to change your blending styles in After Effects. Another thing that you wouldn't notice about your editing is an editing style. So what is an editing style? Well, basically editing style is like an art style in the art community, but more into editing. And what it is that it's your main theme of making edits or making videos related to it, like animation memes in the editing community, yeah. So editing styles is kinda like your personal choice of life. Just saying facts. And an editing style could be anything. It's either aesthetic, it's either badass, it's either the most complicated style ever you made, cuff me, and raw style. which is basically you could do whatever you want in the raw style, but simple, like so simple. I could imagine you guys in the editing community and or the gacha community starting out making edits, but I'm calling it out, your first editing style is a raw style. I'm just saying, I'm calling you out. So editing style is somewhat your characteristic. It would define your videos if you want to, but you could change it. You could change editing style some of the time. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then change it. That's all. And how do I improve my editing style? Number one, it needs patience. It needs some time to develop your arts. I said art style. If it takes time to make editing styles to improve, and that's where me improve a lot in editing, as you can see. And fun fact, I don't edit gachas recently. Like, I don't edit gachas, but I prefer editing like people in the edit. If you want to know what people that am I editing, it's on my editing Instagram, which is diosazine.edits, double S. Diosazine, what is that? It's a shade of purple. Period. And there. That's how you obtain your editing styles. And that's how you improve in editing. Make sure to follow diosazine.edits. Double S, that is. Have you tried any editing apps before? Yeah, I did. It's like 4 apps. KineMaster, Power Director, KitKat Pro, and Light Motion. Some of them, they are so good, except Power Director. No offense. It's like Sunny Vegas Pro, but trashier. And the thing is, KineMaster, KitKat Pro, and Light Motion are like my main buddies, because back then the editing community was like so popping off. So I was like, you know what, let me just join in the editing community and I'm just gonna do whatever I do. So yeah, that's where I joined 2 communities now, which is the gacha community and the editing community. Yes, I have joined like 2 communities. Don't question. And the main problem of these apps that I have used, they don't have motion blur. In fact, yes, they have motion blur, cuff, KineMaster, but if you try animating it, if you want a slow, fast-paced, it would just... No. It doesn't have like the fast blur in After Effects. Like, yeah. If you want to like do like a motion blurred effect, you need to download some of the effects in KineMaster and just import it in the effects list and just animate it. That is so hard and tremendous. I don't want to go back there. Yes, I did join 2 communities, which is the gacha and the editing community, but they're just the same. Why did you join these community? It's because they're the same. Hear me out, yes, they're the same. If you look at the gacha community, they would have meme trends. If you look at the editing community, they would have editing trends. Yeah, they're the same thing. Over. Just kidding. If you want a more elaborated explanation, the gacha community, it's just full of chaos and children. And meanwhile, in the editing community, they would have, content that revolves around editing. Under those editing, they would have edits. I'm one of those editor. Next thing you could see is like, edits in general. I've seen enough. I've seen more. I even save it on my editing account. But why did I have like the same thing or same content on the editing community? It's because they're the same thing. Yes, I know they have the same thing because like gacha trends. The editing community has also trends. Memes. They also have memes. They would have lots of memes. Just saying. Like, again, if you want to visit the editing community, feel free. Just type edits on the YouTube search bar, or just type on the Instagram search bar #edits or #After Effects edits, because I've seen After Effects edits. they're good. They're good. They have the same level as me, or they have the skilled level of an editor beyond expectations than me. Yes, I know. But then again, they wouldn't, recognize the editor because they would focus around editing and focus around the edit itself. Just like the gacha community, they wouldn't care about, the description. Meanwhile, in the editing community, they would just look at the description first, then just watch it. Yeah, vice versa. Just saying. And also, if you visit around the editing community, be sure you know our language. I know this sounds funny, but we have a language. Not really a language, but it's an abbreviation. Just don't comment what the abbreviation is, because they would say you're dumb. Either they're calling you a dumb person, or either they would just say what it is. But there's 100% chance that it would call you a dumb person. Probably 60-40% chance of saying you're dumb. But yeah, I would not care about it, to be fair. Just understand what they are saying in the description. If you want to know the abbreviation, I have my Instagram in there, lovely.purple, which is, if you go to my highlights, you would see my editing abbreviation 101 lesson. It's just 3 slides, I think, just to rearrange your mind. So, what is it about in the gacha community, meanwhile? The gacha community is I can't even speak. It's full of children who doesn't know editing. No offense. I mean, yes, they would start editing in KineMaster. I'm applaud. I applaud. I started at KineMaster also. I applaud. But if it's about the effects, just a minor explanation or minor opinion. Don't overlap effects from KineMaster. They would ruin it. Just saying. Like, if you put effects on a specific scene, don't overlap the other effect unless if it's good on the viewer's eyes. Just saying. On behalf, there would be another incident or extremely dangerous to the eyes of a person, which is, epilepsy. Which is too many bursts, too many screen pumps, too many I don't know, some effects that would call on KineMaster, but I don't mind. Yeah, some of the effects in KineMaster is so tremendously giving me tics. Editing tics. Yes, that's a thing. On the other side of the gacha community, there will be talented mini-movies. Talented mini-movies, series, anything in general. But the thing is, in the mini-movies, the famous genre of it is, romance. Even if you post it on Halloween, you would just post romance instead. Just saying. But sure, I wouldn't mind. I mean, you have creative titles, but don't post romance. I don't care if it's a romance thing, but I watch mini movies, but if it's romance in the gacha community, make sure it's not cheesy. No offense, but sure, you're starting out. I get it. You're starting out. Even I started out doing stuff that is so cringy. I moved on. I make scripts now. I make, stuff that filmmakers would understand. Just saying. That's why I prefer editing in the editing community. But I share the same level of editing in the gacha community also. So don't say you're attacking me. Don't say you're like, no, this guy is preferably posting on Instagram because the editing community is so cool, because the gacha community is the worst thing. It's the same thing. Again, it's the same thing. Don't you dare compare editing community to the gacha community. They're the same thing. If somebody just say, no, they're different, they're the same thing. So far, so good. That would be all. I think, yeah, this is done. If you see this video, it means class is starting. Or maybe pre-class is starting because orientation. Yeah. So if you like the edit that I made without the audio, sadly, because YouTube policy and copyright stuff. But if you want to see the edit with the audio, go to my Instagram, which is @lovelypurple, @lovelypurple. I forgot the dot. I'm not stupid, I know. Don't you point that stupidity out. Come on. Yeah. I hope you enjoy this. I would post more in this kind of edit or watch me edit stuff, but sure. But if you want a tutorial, I would make one. I don't mind. I would make one. I would record myself just using After Effects, just explain it to you guys. But sure. Yeah. That would be all for now. Enjoy the edit that I made without the audio, sadly. Christ.